Welcome then everybody to day 2 of this Triton Poker high roller here at the Party Poker Live Millions Russia Festival in Casino Sochi.
Well, there you see the prize money, 800,000 up top, 531 for the runner-up, and nice and smooth, 375, 250, 175, 125.
Yeah, he limped in from the small blind as these GTO guys do with pretty much their entire range. Mashon has then raised with his pair from the big blind. Now action back on Manik.
$8,800.
He does limp re-raise.
That looks huge, doesn't it?
Well, I promise someone, because these guys do limp everything from the small blind, they do also limp re-raise some bad hands and obviously their best hands. So I would not be surprised at all to see Mashon jam this in here, because Manik will have some folds. And there it is, completely reasonable. Manik will make the call, obviously with aces. And well, let's see if his luck changes a little bit today.
You didn't go to Finland?
Queen 8-5 flop does bring a couple of backdoor draws for Mashon, straights.
4 days.
Queen the turn is of no help.
Just one of 2 black 7s. And the black 9 is not going to help him either, so Manigloser will double up. Doesn't require a third bullet.
Yeah, back above a starting stack. And that turn is really going to hurt Manik. Hard to see how he can bet again at this one.
Yeah, and if it goes check, check, it'll be an easy one for Adams to steal on the river.
Yeah, he isn't called just to hit. He's called to bluff on some run-outs, and this looks like a good one for him. He's turned, 2 pair quite easily. He
Yep.
Queen Jack, King
Now
Jack,
watch.
we've got a pair.
Here comes the bluff with the 7 high.
And you can even go bet really small here and just try and rep a hand like a 10 or a 9. He doesn't have to bet big here. Doesn't have to make out like he's turned a straight, he can just make out like he's turned a pair. Trying to make Manik fold hands like ace high.
How much do you reckon? 10? Oh no.
Or he
All
can
in.
do that and rep the straight. He's just, again, goes for the overbet.
Third time we've seen him do that. Fast has called in the big blind with 6-4 off, 2 live cards against Yaroshevsky's ace-king, and flops 2 pair. Going to be looking for a double up here. Yaroshevsky with the ace of hearts and picks up an ace on the turn, and I don't see any way that Fast won't be able to get paid here now that he's hit that. That's the perfect card for him. I'm surprised he didn't lead on that turn in the hope that Yaroshevsky has got ace-king, ace-queen.
Well, he's of the opinion that Yaroshevsky is going to bet the ace
So he's
with
check
nearly
raising,
his
yeah.
entire range, so he can just check raise, yeah. Or check call and allow Yaroshevsky to bluff again if he's bluffing and value bet again if he's value betting.
Surely it's all in here now. Just call.
And Yaroshevsky will feel almost certain he has the best hand here, so you can expect to see him put in a big value bet on the river. 3 of hearts. A small concern on a card like 3 of hearts, but he's still going to go for value here. He did go big. He went bet the pot. Fast, of course, snap called.
There's a nail mark on the ace. Ace of diamond. Ace of diamond. Ace of diamond, there's a nail mark. How much is it?
Spensky with kings, trying to work out how best to play this with Becker behind. He just quickly moves all in. And Becker with a real decision here. I just don't see how he can fold.
Lot chips.
Spencer's jamming over Troinovsky's range.
Clock makes it so much better.
So he's going to have some worse hands than jacks.
I think next time you give 10. 10 of it.
When I've been playing the main event of the World Series quite often, in this exact situation, the player with kings or aces flats in the hope that the
8 plus 4.
initial raiser has got a hand like jacks or queens and comes over the top trying to get it heads up.
Yeah, it's definitely a spot where I would have
shoved
expected
there.
Spensky to flat rather than jam.
Maybe even.
Because it's hard for Becker to call with garbage hands, and then he can still commit with his bad hands. So even more reason, I think, for Becker to call here.
More. You give 10, you give 10.
I was thinking doing 35.
50 big blinds.
But I think give more better.
But
People will take advantage of the
But for
35.
TV would be even.
I mean, see him in a flip a lot of the time, but there's so much money out there. I don't see how you can fold. Troinovsky is going to have much worse hands a lot of the time.
30 seconds here is short. On TV is long.
Yeah, Troinovsky can have any ace
Oh,
or a small
making
pair.
a big fold.
Yeah, well, he's thinking to himself, there's probably a pair and 2 overs.
Wow.
I still,
big
well, I
fold.
prefer it if he just flats there personally. I think he potentially could have won a much bigger pot.
Players or for the viewers.
Well, Troinovsky then will need to find an ace to double up.
And on that flop, there's no way that Becker would have been folded.
My goodness, 2 aces.
Wow.
Ace is full
Overkill.
for Troinovsky. But Uspensky could have won a decent size side pot, I think. Obviously, the ace would have slowed all the action on the turn.
Yeah, I'm still surprised Becker folded jacks. Antonius now running hand got himself in this mess. I can't really see how he can fold. Nearly 2-1 with ace queen. Very suspicious that Fast decides to limp in under the gun. Create all this action.
Yeah,
Sure enough.
as expected, Antonius puts him all in for his last 21,000. So
No, it's the fast stack is wrong. So he has a lot less than that. He's about 26,000. That's it. So
total.
yeah, so it's only about 15 big blinds. So it's hard to see how this wouldn't go in.
Ace queen versus. Oh, look
Oh.
at that. Ace, first card on the flop.
Straight away for Antonius.
Backdoor hearts potentially, or a queen. 1 queen in Antonius's hand, obviously. Fast getting up, and he will have to continue walking back to the cash desk if he wants to re-enter. 44 entries, and this is the last level to re-enter this tournament or to enter during the break.
Some socks he's wearing there, Simon. I think you've got a glimpse of those. Different fashion at this table. So, pot brewing here. Although we'll need to avoid flopping 1 pair. He could get himself in a lot of trouble. And wow, how about that? Flop king, king, deuce. Adam's now the man in trouble.
The question is now, how much does Adams lose in this hand?
Right, and how best to play, I guess.
I think
I
he's
mean,
just
this is a board he's just always c-betting, isn't he? Within his entire range.
He's always going to c-bet range. He's just going to carry on to c-bet aces. He's going to bet like 2,500, maybe 3,000. Yeah, probably about 3,000. And I imagine
Wow, he has checked back.
That pot control may have saved him now.
Surprising. It seems like a board, king, king, deuce, rainbow, that you should be c-betting.
Especially with a peel
100%.
from the small blind, because actually people peeling the small blind is actually pretty. They have fairly tight range. Well,
I mean, obviously some concern. When you're peeling from the small blind, you're looking at some Broadway combos.
yeah.
And obviously some
A lot of
ace
pocket
X's. He
pairs.
has 2 aces in his hand. Pocket pairs as well.
But he's going to get called by pocket pairs on that board too. I guess. Yeah, I was just going to. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what's going to happen? I always like to try and guess. I guess we just commentate on the action as opposed to try and guess.
We can play the guessing game.
Thing is, if he wants to get more value, he has to check raise here. But if he check raises here, his hand kind of goes face up. But then, actually, having said that, Timothy Adams might level himself into thinking here that actually, would Liao really check a king twice to me? But I think this is pretty danger signs here. because you just don't expect your opponent ever to check raise you without a king minimum.
At the same time, is there anything going through Adams' mind where maybe he's thinking Lau might check raise some worse hands here for protection, not expecting Adams to fire a second bluff on the river?
Yeah, completely.
So if he had something like 8s, but then he's probably just more likely to lead those on the turn, I
Yeah.
guess. Well, the river changes nothing. Pretty much entire deck's a brick on this board.
See, if Liao bets small here, Adams may just think that he's going to be value betting a smaller pair. But if he goes big, I think he's going to find the fold. But it's definitely a difficult hand to fold.
Right, there aren't really any bluffs, are there?
Not really, no. Unless he has just got like 7-8 suited and just turned it into a bluff because he didn't want to fold. His hand's not good enough, obviously, to check or say he's got like ace high.
Right, but in terms of plausible bluffs, there's what, 5, 6?
3, 5,
3,
yeah.
5, but then does he play
Would
those from
peel
the
them?
small blind?
Probably
So.
not.
Also, there could be some ace 5, ace
It's a
3
rainbow.
suited, but Adams has 2 aces, so that's unlikely. It's
It's a rainbow turn as well. It's just so...
such a dry board.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, you just have to see it.
Yeah. The face of a man who's had his aces correct. Or if they've just 3-bet and got, like, obviously got it through. I don't think people will just do it.
Well, Lau's going to see a flop.
He's going to look him up.
So this is the problem with ace on off, though. It's so hard to get favourable flops.
Yeah, I mean, if it suits it,
Well,
oh dear.
this is about as good as a flop that gets for ace 9 off, so... Okay, and expect Manig.
I think Manig will probably size up for a turn shove here, I imagine. See, sometimes you bet small on this board, but yeah, I think he only needs to bet like 11k.
Yeah, 11 or 12k leaves him the pot size bet back
Yeah.
on the turn. Now he's pretty consistent. He opened to... He's getting a little bit bigger, 16, to make the turn shove a little smaller.
So normally you'd expect quite a small bet on this texture of board, wouldn't you? But I think
I mean, it's still not a big bet. It's
No,
a
it's
shade
true.
under half pot,
it's quite big for that texture.
for sure. This maybe, I'm not sure. All about Lau's game. There we go. Just check jam. Manig calls, and we'll see the good news. Just needs to avoid an ace or a 9. Take down this 166,000 chip pot.
See, Manig is a 4-1 favourite.
No change on the turn, just an ace or 9 for Lau. Oh, well, Manig's had a torrid time in this tournament. Been outdrawn a number of times. He's been put in horrible river situations a couple of times. And now gets outdrawn to finally get a big stack going.
Triple draw.
Yeah, trying to see. I remember he did win something. I think you're right, triple draw.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Oh, and Jack's at 7.
what a life, Jack Sinclair.
It's a hard life, Jack. Johnny just backdoor clubs or a king. No, just a king. Or actually, he can hit an 8. He can hit an 8 here as well.
8 would be the dirty way.
8 would be the dirty way.
Oh, there it
beautiful.
is. We called it aces and 8s with a king.
Oh, unlucky Jack. I don't know why he's done this.
Now Lau, of course, is going to raise it with his queens. And can we see Koroshen and Limp Jam here?
I mean, I don't think so.
Do you think he's happy he's got
fold.
his 40,000 now?
I think he was just trying to limp see a flop and flop us that. I think he's probably just going to fold. But I don't know, he did just get the 5-3 diamonds in on the button with, and he had lots of free hands. So he might
But I mean, he has.
he might spin to win.
He has got back to his day 2 starting stack now, so perhaps he thinks I'll calm down now and play him
think he's
properly.
just-
But no, here we go. He's going to move it in, and is again going to be in bad shape here.
It's like wince.
But he's doubles up here. I have 88,000. 853, no help. Only club in the hand belongs to Lau. Oh, gutter.
Another 4 outs for Koroshenin. And the river's a queen.
Wasted set there for Lau. You gotta save those for later on. So Koroshen like a whirlwind. Came in, caused a bit of carnage, and is now gone. Lau up over the 400,000 chip mark. Best chance of winning a big pot, I guess.
So we've seen a call. The side pots. And it's come 10-10-5.
Well,
I think
Koroshen does have a pair, but
we have a side pot now as well though, so I think we're gonna see a bet, yeah.
you'd imagine Machon, I mean, this is a flop.
He's not folding, surely.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good flop for his hand. It's unlikely. Low has a 10. That's cool. And surely now this was slow low down.
That's because he had heart on the turn.
Here's a 3. Gives him a pair. Koroshenin with
I think
a
this might
third
even
pair.
be even more reason to check because I think he might be good now.
Right, yeah, he can still beat some of those Broadway floats if there were any, or better ace highs more likely.
Ace queen, ace jack would probably play some of that. Do you think Machin will pot control now and just check back?
I would imagine so.
Oh, he's going for
Right.
the bet check back.
Again, if he thinks Low's not going to bluff river, then betting does make a little bit more sense to protect.
Does Leo think he's winning? That's the question.
I'm about to say, does Low come up with a
It
check
looks
raise?
like
And that's
it's
exactly what
check
he's done.
raised.
Wow. This is what.
So it's
Look
just,
at
Leo's just
Koroshenin.
turning his hand into a bluff here.
You've seen it gone bet call on the flop, check bet, check raise turn.
It's quite funny as well because if Machin now folds, Koroshenin is due to triple up.
Wow, yeah.
And he
I guess
has
that's
he's
what's
made
going to
a pass,
happen. Koroshenin will be shocked to find out he's ahead.
And he gets to see it as well. Go on,
And
keep
this is,
camera on his
this is
face.
one argument for not betting the 8s, is that you can get bluffed.
Exactly. Yep.
National's looking around for some sympathy for anyone.
And that'll be a triple up for Koroshenin, who's come in, having missed the first 3 hours, gone down to 6,000 chips.
And it's
And
basically
now he's
back
got
to
30,000, yeah.
where he would have started the day.
We have another all-in on the other table. Small blind versus big blind again. These 12 pigs, they go in very quickly, very easily, as we saw with the Jack 7 versus the King Jack. And now we've got Jack 3 of hearts versus King Jack.
We
And
need a lot of help here.
backdoor hearts for 3.
I have so many ace X also. Call again.
There it is.
Oh, this table's full of
Outdraw central.
yeah. So he might
But I mean, he has.
he might
obviously
spin
got,
to win.
he has got back to his day 2 starting stack now, so perhaps he thinks, I'll calm down now and play
think
it
he's
properly.
just-
But no, here we go. Is going to move it in. And is, again, going to be in bad shape here.
It's like wince.
But he's doubles up here. I'll have 88,000. 853, no help. Only club in the hand belongs to Low. Oh, gutter.
Another 4 outs for Koroshenin. And the river's a queen.
Wasted set there for Low. You gotta save those for later on. So Koroshen, like a whirlwind, came in, caused a bit of carnage, and is now gone. Low up over the 400,000 chip mark.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
that's why he's Jack Sinclair. Jack's incredible.
oh.
Whoa.
Now only 1 out in the deck.
And
It's not to be.
unlucky Jack.
So Jack, if you're listening to this back, it's Phil's fault.
Jack to kill Jack.
Gotta be close.
Phil didn't want to get of it.
We said it's going to be close, but assuming our graphics are correct, it is Trojanowski who covers Jack Sinclair. And here we go then. He counts for both tables. Ivan Hatter, we haven't seen him yet in this storm, but look at that stack, 437,000. He is the chip leader on the orange table, followed a long way behind by Bear and Antonius, whereas Ivan Lowe is the chip leader on table black. We saw him win quite a few pots. All for ace queen.
I
I think Goffman shoved the cutoff and full far called in the small, or isolated in the small blind.
Pretty standard spot there for Goffman under 10 bigs. So let's pick up a gut shot draw.
2 or 4.
9, no use.
Just 7 outs going to the river. And that's not one of them.
No good. So down to 14 players now with the elimination of Alexander Goffman.
Call from Bay on the button with ace 10 off.
Oh yeah, playing a 25 big blinds Bear. Well, that's Antonius in with jack hit of diamonds. I think Bear there with ace-10 off, maybe better to make a decision before the flop, Jonty, or you okay with the flat there?
On the button?
Yeah, 25 bigs deep. It seems...
It's not, I don't think it's ideal. But
He let Antonius in, and what a flop for Antonius. Gut shot, straight draw, and a flush draw. And unbeknownst to him, his pair draw's alive. And all three players do check. Turn, there you go, there's the diamond for
There's the
Antonius.
action
And he goes
card.
bare, the nut flush draw, and a gut shot. So, could see some carnage here. If Antonius were to bet here, you could definitely envisage a scenario where Bear runs a bluff. Hatter really with no course of action other than to fold. Bear does make the call with the nut flush draw. An ace on the river. Well, Bear makes a pair just over pot behind. Interesting spot for Antonius here. Whether to bet small, bet big, or check. All three are viable options. We'll see, with the ace on the river, Bear could conceivably have paired an ace with the ace of diamonds in his hand like he has.
All in.
He's going for all of it.
I think Betty might fold the fold here.
Trying to piece it together. What hands does Antonius bet turn jam river with? What hands should Bear call with? If he folds this one, obviously he's going to call his flushes. What bluffs can Patrick have?
I mean, the only bluff that's even like half conceivable if he has like what, like king 8 off with the king of diamonds.
Yeah, there are some obviously 8x hands.
I mean, there's so much more value than bluffs, really. Like, does he turn like 10 jack off with a diamond here?
Especially Patrick calling from the big blind. Pretty much, if he was dealt 2 diamonds, he's in the pot.
Yeah.
There isn't a 2 diamond combo that he would have folded.
Not really. 2 4 diamonds. It's just difficult to see what he beats unless he's just turning like. Do you like if he has like jack 7 off with the 7 of diamonds actually, or jack of diamonds actually bets the turn for value,
right?
And then just turns into a bluff. I don't see why he would bet
well,
with his
Bear
bluff.
has made the call. The bad news: Patrick did indeed turn the flush. So Bear eliminated in 14th place.
Kind of a tough spot. It's got the ace of diamonds as well.
Yeah, he was actually factoring in the fact that he was about to put it in. Didn't think about it.
It's possible. Honestly, I don't know the correct range in this spot with big blind versus button ante, what the difference should be. But personally, I wouldn't take king 2 off here.
No.
That'd be turbo mucking the 6s.
Well,
I would also be folding on the flop.
This is ambitious play from Leo. I don't know what story he's trying to tell. Oh my God!
There it is. There's a new chapter.
Oh wow, that is sick.
What a turn. Yeah, I don't mind the peel on the flop so much.
It's the 40k pre that you're not too good.
Yeah, the peel pre I think is not so great, but
I mean, that is completely unreadable, isn't it? The way that this has happened. He's raised 11,000, called 40,000 pre with 6s, and then called 33,000 on a Jack 9-5 board, and he's binked the 2 outer, and he could now win a very big pot.
yeah, I can't really see Yaroshevsky getting away at this point.
Well, he's checked it back.
Yeah, and that's a river I don't think he's ever going to fold on.
So Lau, would you, if you were him, would you now bet? He's got
I would go all in here.
Yaroshevsky's got 144 behind, pot's 156. Lau's got 380. Well, what is he actually telling?
You could bet 120k actually.
Yeah.
Be good here. Leave Yaroshevsky with something. You know, maybe Yaroshevsky thinks that you just miscounted his stack or something, but he's going to be more inclined to call.
Well, You called it. He has gone all in. And now he is hoping that Yaroshevsky has got aces or kings, maybe queens even.
Yeah.
He obviously clearly hasn't got jacks. Would have seen
Yeah,
him bet the turn.
He's going to pull out all the time bank chips here.
Wow. Now the problem is he has to go through what are all the potential hands that he would call the 3-bet with pre-flop that could possibly improve to beat my aces.
Well, he's definitely not going to be worried about... He's not really thinking about 6s too much, I don't think. I mean, you would expect your opponent to fold 5s and 6s pre-flop. And even if they call 6s, maybe they fold them on the flop as well. So it's... I don't think he's going to put him on 6s or 5s very often. He's mostly worried about 9s and jacks.
Yeah. Especially 9s, yeah.
And also the possible jack-9 suited. I don't think he can really have 7-8. It seems...
Yeah, it's unlikely he's got 5-6 or 7-8.
He could have 7-8 of diamonds, I guess,
Sure.
and play it this way.
Yeah, he's called and he's not going to be happy when he's going to feel disgusted that
Oh, you called a flop.
yeah. Wow, what a huge pot.
Let's play.
Can't see. 348,000.
Oh, okay, so he has less. Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
Wow, what a spot.
Oh, my ace is live.
Wow.
Yeah, and Young's happy that he has an ace.
Yeah, could be a big treble up here for Young. Or if
One ace set us off.
Uspensky can hold up with his queens, although Hatter will still be in, he'll probably be big chip leader.
Yeah, I don't mind this reshove from Hatter. I mean,
No,
in
I
general,
totally agree.
in general, you have to cut it.
Yeah. Pair of 9s, small blind. 10-10 jack. No change on the turn. No change on the river. 2 full houses, but Uspensky wins.
Uspensky.
A very, very nice pot. Hatter unlucky there to run into such a big hand on the big blind. So in actual fact, we're down to the final 9. There you can see Lau, our chip leader, with 663. Uspensky, after winning with the queens against the 9s and the ace-3, has 525. Poir up to 240. Those two obviously clear chip leaders when the average is around about 220, 230. Trejevsky with the average, and below average, Antonis with 200. Mashon with 148, Adams 139, Gruesome 121, and at the bottom, having just lost that last pot with the pocket 9s, is Hatter with 119. And there you see the prize money, 800,000 up top, 531 for the runner-up, and nice and smooth, 375, 250, 175, 125. King Jack and 3s.
Oh.
So had he just flat called, they would have called as well, I think. Okay, so
I think Paul Far's just saying that Phil opens really tight.
so Mashon at risk here. Flop is Jack 5-2, pretty safe so far.
I think 2 people made a set on that flop, didn't they?
King Jack would have been in front. I think Antonio said King Jack.
Uspensky folded deuces.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know one of them had 3s.
And Foix had 4s, I think.
Only a queen? No. So Mashon is our first player to leave this final table.
Phil just looks like so bored. I'm very much enjoying watching Phil.
Squirm a little bit.
He's like just enjoying the moment.
Gamble.
Gamble.
Gamble. So Paul at risk for the second hand in a row. The second time he's in good shape. But not great shape. As Jack points out, Phil has 38% equity.
I believe.
Please punish him.
What can I do?
2 ace on the flop, game over.
Yeah, I mean, if ace jack off isn't a snap call, then probably doing okay with
No.
4-7.
What's that?
No improvement yet. Does pick up a club draw. Bill needs to hit 1 club though, 2 clubs. Give Paul a higher flush.
Check in. Jack.
Ace on the turn.
It's better to hit it on the river.
Yeah,
'cause
I mean,
there's
you can't get redrawn.
You can't get redrawn.
You watch the Chinese movie?
Okay. Ace of clubs.
Red.
Ace 7 or 4. Red 5.
Thank you, Philip. Now you shot that.
So suddenly, all's gone from the shortest stack, very comfortable with 266,000. Phil drops below 40 big blinds. Does cool 84,000 in the pot. Adams with just 53,000 behind. All right, picked up some outs here. Some more outs, I should say. Queen or 7 for a straight.
Tough spot for Foie. I'd be inclined to just rip it in. I mean, it's pretty annoying because you're just going to be beat quite a lot with the 9 on the turn. It's like, really improves a lot of hands that Adams has. And also you kind of get a lot of folds when you shove here. Like Adams is for sure going to be check calling, you know, a lot of 8x and Jack X, which probably just folds the turn. So when you shove, you're basically hoping to get called by an ace, and Adams probably jams a lot of aces pre-flop. So it's yeah, interesting spot for Foie.
Well, in this situation, he did have that ace, he did call, and he didn't catch the river.
Big difference, right? But he calls and Foie calls. They're going to check it down actually quite a lot here, because it would be a dry side pot. So Foie wouldn't have much point in betting a lot of times post flop. So if Liao did beat Foie, then Antonius would at least still be in.
Oh.
No.
But anyway, not a huge difference.
As we see here then, 2 players at risk of elimination.
Wowza.
Very likely to burst our bubble here. If a Jack were to come, Antonius would sneak into the money, as Liao has the shortest stack.
Sweat.
So Patrick, obviously rooting for himself, but second best would be losing to Foie, not Liao. So, waiting for a while for this bubble to burst. Now 3-handed all in. 8-6-3, no help. So far, so good for the Finn. Deuce on the turn changes nothing. Liao needs an ace. A 9 on the river, no good for Liao. He is our bubble boy. And wow, what a huge coup there for Patrick Antonius. He was short himself. Now suddenly 500,000 chips and in the money.
Wowza. I can't believe it. Antonius, Philbot heads up. It's gonna be amazing.
The dream is alive,
Yeah.
huh? So even Liao, chip leader with 8 left to out in 7.
Phil gonna be all in here, I think.
10 bigs.
All in. 110 or something. Maybe 120.
He doesn't sound particularly excited, does he?
Well, we're getting called here from Antonius. Just lost a few chips to Hatter. A chance to get them all back straight away. And they'll fold out behind. It will be Philbot
117.
at risk of elimination.
117.
Needs a lot of help
Last
here.
game, Patrick. Sorry. Okay.
I know. Shit. First push, you get called.
Okay, give you a 9.
That's always miserable when you're.
You get short.
Everyone's
First jam.
been doubling up, like it flips and shoves going through, and then you find first jam called dominated.
Queen 6-7. Picks up some backdoor chance.
It's shuffled.
Smiles from Antonius. Big favourite to knock out Philbot well.
Okay.
8 or 9. Antonius stays still the overwhelming favourite. Philbot was 1 of 6. But ultimately will fall in 6th place.
Miserable.
Unlucky Phil.
Okay.
All in.
So, Poir here with pocket nines. He's gone all in for 259,000. Easy call for Antonius with kings. That's our folds, obviously.
You have a pair?
Janowski folds. Kings against nines.
I had king 9.
No. You have a king 10. 6, 7, 8, okay?
Okay, so see if he gets what he wants. Deuce, 7, jack. Pretty safe for Antonius.
Clubs.
Lots of backdoor.
8 of clubs.
No help on the turn. No change on the river either.
Enjoy your game,
And
guys.
played a good game, Paul Poir, but finally leaves this field in 5th place, getting 175,000. Well, ace king this time. So nice mini rush for Trojanovski. Queens followed by ace king.
57,000.
And of course he raises exactly the same amount as when he had the queens, 37,000. Uspensky. I think he'll want to keep out of the way. Usually you'd expect a player to be calling on the button, but Antonius, aggressive player behind him, and he knows that the big blind of Hatter is likely to be calling as well. So wisely folds the 3s. As I say, he is thinking strategically. He's thinking that he could actually move up a place if one of these players bust. Here's a hand, obviously Antonius should be playing.
10 seconds. Call.
Makes the call, and I would expect Hatter to call as well. 106,000 in the middle. Just 21,000 to call. 5 to 1 he's getting. Okay, so 3 players to a flop. Ace king off, 6, 7 suited, and ace 4 suited, same suit. Between them, they've got 5 hearts. And would you believe it? There's 2 more on board. And 3-3. Wow. Would have flopped quads. Okay, so about 50,000 from Trojanovski.
10 seconds.
Antonius with his flush draw.
5.
It goes all in. Wow, he's moved all in. And Hatter behind has got the nut flush draw. Wow, if he was to make this call. Be a big favourite against Antonius. Trojanovski would have to fold. He's playing this as though he's got a 3 in the small blind. Hatter's thinking, why would you move all in? You are more likely to have a draw than a made hand. You've just been beaten by Trojanovski with the queens versus your 5s. Are you running, are you a little bit hot? Are you making a play here over aggressively? Can he work this out? And if he can work it out, is he willing to pay the all-in?
10 seconds.
And he makes the call. Wow, what a call from Hatter and a quick fold from Trojanovski. Some massive hand here, nearly $1 million in chips. Both players with a flush draw. Hatter with the nut flush draw, obviously in front at the moment. Antonius now doesn't want to see a heart, he wants to see a 6 or a 7. All over on the turn, apart from the 8 of hearts. A 1 outer for Antonius, doesn't come. Had a tiny bit of hope on the turn, but in 2 hands goes from chip leader to walking out of this tournament. Now, how different could that pot have been had Usman called with pocket 3s on the button? I feel pretty certain it still would have been a huge pot. Wow, he would have flopped quads. They're just talking about it now.
Like 15 years ago.
Yusvinsky, King 8 spades, good enough, he says. Puts in his last few chips. Wow, Hatter's got queens. We could be heads up here. All in, 184,000. He'll just move all in, get it heads up. Watching the time counting down before he says it. Yeah, there you go. All in, as I predicted. Trojanovski, easy fold. So, are we going to be heads up? Uspensky, having not played the 3s earlier, which would have given him quads and a huge chip lead, is now up against Hatter, who played the hand with ace-4 of hearts and turned the nut flush, making a great call on the flop against Antonius, and now has a chance to go heads up with a huge chip lead. Looking good so far. Queen's full on the turn, and Hatter takes out Uspensky in 3rd place, receiving 375,000.
There we go then. Line's 12.24. Vladimir Trojanovski is the shortest stack with 34 bigs. Ivan Hatter with 64. Confirmation. They're playing for 531,000, locked up at 800,000 for our champion. You see Uspensky in 3rd, Antonius 4th.
Jack 7. Now he's moved all in. Hatter with King 4 suited.
Yeah, I think Hatter's going to have to call this one with suited king. This could be Trojanovski's chance to get back into it here. He will need to outdraw though. See, Hatter has 1 hand on the chips already. don't think he can fold this one, Simon. Even though Trojanowski is obviously on the tighter side, King 4 suited is such a strong hand. But fair play for thinking it through. Look at his time chips. I don't think he's used any of them all day. Hyman were to call here and hold, he would be your champion. He has made the call, Simon. Here we go.
So, he won a very big pot earlier on today against Patrick Antonius with ace 4 of hearts. He has Trojanowski all in, dominating him with king 4 of clubs against jack 7.
And you're a small favourite there, Simon. Trojanowski, 39% of the time, is going to double up here. He will only double up to what he started the heads-up match with then. So, will Vladimir get lucky? Queen 6-2, no good, Simon.
Backdoor spades.
He does indeed have those backdoor
jack
spades.
Or a 7. Right smile there from Trojanowski.
Nothing's gone his way this heads-up match. Deuce on the turn. Drawing to just the 6 outs. 86% chance of Hatter being your champion after this next card.
And here comes the river. 3 of spades. It is all over. We have our Triton High Roller final winner. Fantastically well played by both gentlemen. But at the end of the day, having made that phenomenal call earlier with the ace 4 of hearts, willing to risk everything against Patrick Antonius, put himself into a commanding chip lead, never lost it. And fair play to Trojanowski as well. Very impressed with his short stack play, how he's been so, determined to give himself that opportunity to put the chips in at the best possible opportunity.
I'm on Hara. My congratulations to you. What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. It was a long day, so I'm pretty tired, but I'm happy that I could win the tournament.
Was it difficult for you, this final table?
There were some difficult spots, and I got lucky one time with ace-jack against kings, but other than that, I think it went pretty well, and I had some easy decisions, some difficult ones, but all in all, it was a pretty good final table.
Was it difficult heads-up for you?
I was pretty tired at the end, and I think Vladimir was tired as well. So, but I just ran better in the heads-up. I was hitting all the boards, so from that point of view, it was easy.
What are you planning to play here in Sochi?
I qualified for day 2 for the main event already online.
Already?
Yeah, online. You could play the day 1 online already.
Yeah.
So
What stack do you have?
Like 1.9 million.
It's an average stack.
Yeah, but I already bought in twice, so yeah.
Thank you, Ivan, so much, and my congratulations to you again. It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.